So I talk at length about the Steam Deck and how I think that it's one of the best pieces of gaming technology we have right now because of its portability. But there is another aspect of the Steam Deck that I feel like we don't talk about enough, and that is its hybrid ability. Something that I capitalize on almost daily. While I love the portable aspect of this, I have been using this in hybrid fashion for a long time. So today I'm going over all of the accessories I feel like are really worth it, what I use personally for the Steam Deck in its hybrid ability. And we'll start off by just talking about, for a brief moment, the dock I use. The dock I use is this. I use the actual official Steam Deck dock. There are plenty of other docks out there, but I use this one with a HDMI port, a display port, USB-C, which is used for charging, Ethernet, and 3 USB-As. This is a perfect dock, totally fine. Again, there are plenty of others out there. If you have my loadout, the grip case by Skull & Co., this doesn't fit, but there's plenty of space in front for this cable. In fact, if I'm to show you what's going on here, you'll see there is plenty of space there. So that is the dock part of it. But when it's docked, there's so much more that you want to add to it, and that's today's topic. Now, before we hop into it, I have a new piece of technology. Not really. I have a new piece of coffee gear for those of you who are into the coffee game. I know that some of you guys are like, I came here for the tech. Why are you talking about coffee? Because that's what we do here. We talk about coffee and video games. This is going to be quick and easy. You guys know I'm an AeroPress fan. Well, AeroPress released some new colors. And so this right here is the had to get Atomic Purple. I'm a 90s kid, and so the Atomic Purple is absolutely a must grab for me. Look at this thing, dude. Okay, all of this different stuff. Look at it. Look at it. It's the Atomic Purple. So today we're gonna be brewing our coffee here in the Atomic Purple. I'm gonna go rinse it out, and then when I come back, we're gonna have a good time making a cup of coffee and talking about the gear. Ground the coffee in the meantime. The first thing I want to talk about, and I think it goes without saying, is controllers. What are you going to use when the thing's docked? You can certainly use the actual, I guess, Steam Deck itself as a controller, but I wouldn't recommend that. In fact, that seems like it'd be really challenging in a lot of ways. We're going with 2 filters today, and then we're going to really get a good rinse going on this bad boy. But for me, I think that the first controller that you should consider is the one you already have. I mean, no need to go out and purchase any new controllers if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, because both of those controllers work perfectly fine. So first party is always going to be a great option for you. I think that getting a first party PlayStation 5 controller or DualSense controller is really a major play here. Oh, let's put on my wedding ring. That sounds like a good idea. Because this has all of the DualSense features, and there are games like Horizon Zero Dawn that support DualSense, and you'll get all of those fun, different adaptive triggers and stuff like that. So I'd say picking up at least a DualSense if you want to get that. Now, moving into the other controllers in my loadie, as one would say. Oh, I need to dump this water out. Well, instead of dumping it out, I'm just going to actually use this. I have to go in the purple fashion, and we're going with the 8-Bit Dope Pro 2. I have been using this on my live streams. If you're into watching live streams, I have created a specific spot, a dedicated spot for all of my live streams over on Twitch. That's JDX Coffee or JD Coffee. Makes sense, right? We are currently, we are going through every single Final Fantasy game to date. Every single one to date. Pretty exciting stuff. Also, the AeroPress comes with a little agitator, so you can like move your coffee around and swirl it. I use a bamboo one because fancy, right? So let's just get this started and then continue on. So anyway, I've been using the 8-Bit Dope Pro 2 for 2 reasons specifically. One, it works with the Ultimate software if you so choose to use the Ultimate software. I don't use it with that. What I instead use is I use this D-pad quite a bit, especially for something like Final Fantasy 1, which is what we've started on. Final Fantasy 1 is a great game. I'm enjoying my time there, and I do prefer matched thumbsticks versus asymmetrical thumbsticks. So this controller does great. It has vibration, and what's really exciting is when you have the Steam Deck plugged into the dock, which is in some ways kind of inconvenient depending on where it is. You can easily, and let me see if I can demonstrate it for you guys right here. If I do this, let's go ahead and rinse this with hot water, and then we're gonna go ahead and seal it. There we go. Man, that looks cool. Hey, look, they match. If I press the start button here, let's see, will it actually turn on? And survey says it did. Turned on right here. See, it's on. Boom, we're playing. And then I can press this button and well, let's just do this. So you can turn on your Steam Deck with the controller, which for me is really, really convenient. So this is with Bluetooth. This is 100% Bluetooth. On the back of it has 4 different inputs for Switch, Android, some other device, and X input. The X input is what I'm using for the Steam Deck. So this, if I switch it over to the Switch side of things, oh, that popped. Then I would be able to then use the Switch, which is nice because then it can be attached to multiple devices. I am a huge fan of there being multiple uses for a piece of technology, especially as these things get more and more expensive. Why would I want to have just one piece of technology for one piece of gear? Also, just so you guys know, with the exception of the PlayStation 5 controller, these controllers that I'm going to be showing you, the other one I'm going to be showing you, is also usable with your Nintendo Switch, which I think as we portable papas try to progress down this road of portability, staying as transferable as possible is probably one of the better ways of going about it. So what cup am I using today? 3. We are going with green. How exciting. Let's pour some of this off. Excited, I used my new AeroPress. The purple AeroPress, dude. Links below. Anyway, so that's the 8BitDo Pro 2. What's really cool is with the Ultimate software, which you can use your phone to do all the programming, you can easily take this thumbstick and this and switch it. So if you have a game like on the Nintendo Switch where, for instance, Link's Awakening uses dedicated thumbsticks, you can't use the D-pad, you can switch it so that the D-pad is registered as a thumbstick, and there you have a wonderful, fun D-pad experience, even though the Switch thinks it's a thumbstick. Fun stuff. Also some back buttons if you're into that kind of thing, and analog triggers, which I like, but whatever. Next, if we're sticking with 8BitDo, this controller is great. You get into a little bit of, I mean, same with the other one too, because the layout of the buttons is indeed the Switch layout. But with this, it's kind of hard to see the ABXY because of the colorway. So you end up just using muscle memory with this, and you're like, oh, okay, A, B, X, Y. But on this, you can see it bright and clear. This is the 8BitDo Ultimate controller. Now, what I like about this controller is it has a lot of features packed into it. The charging dock is really, really nice. With the charging dock, USB-C, you have underneath a little adapter, 2.4. You can put this in the back of your Steam Deck dock and just leave it there. And then if you switch from Bluetooth, which is connected to my Nintendo Switch, which this will also turn on the Nintendo Switch, you just have to shake it. The Ultimate controller will not. I mean, not Ultimate, the Pro 2 will not turn on your Nintendo Switch. But you shake this and you have your Nintendo Switch and it's good to go. The 2.4 plugged in directly is great because then it'll turn on the Steam Deck. Now, what's also kind of cool that I didn't know is in here is where you store this 2.4 adapter or this 2.4 receiver. This is actually a port. So if you plug this charging dock into your Steam Deck dock and you pull power out of your Steam Deck dock onto this, you don't have to attach the 2.4 receiver because the 2.4 receiver is being fed through the port out through the USB-C. Pretty cool, right? So this has all the same features as the others, the Ultimate software, all that stuff, back buttons, charging. Great. If you like asymmetrical thumbsticks, this is the way I would go, 100%. And in fact, I would choose this over an Xbox controller because of the multi-use functions. Oh, that is a really clean cup of coffee. Atomic Purple, you won. And so these are the two I would choose from 8BitDo. There's not many additional features that this has over the other. This does have 3 different profiles, but lucky for you, so does this. So if you like setting profiles, one for Link's Awakening, whatever it may be, there you go. This, I believe, actually, for me, has more features that I like, but whatever. Now, there is another controller that I haven't used much of, but I think is a phenomenal controller nonetheless. This is the GullyKit KK3 Max. A lot of extra stuff comes in this box, but what I like about this controller is multifaceted. One, comes with all the charging stuff. One is the tremendous amount of flexibility it has. Comes with a case, which is kind of cool. So this resembles that of a Xbox controller. Now, what's nice about this is you do have the ability to switch from full analog triggers and analog pulls to short throw clicks. And what's nice is it isn't just limiting your actual pull. You have an audible click, whereas if you put this on the analog pull, it is just a full actuation. So that's pretty dope. Now, what's really, really special about this is every customization you want to do, you can do on the controller itself, and you do not need a companion app. It comes with a key, and trust me, it takes a lot of navigating, and this has all of the different customizations you can do with it. There are so many, from changing the rumble to changing the lights, and what's really cool is on the back, you have these slots for back paddles. And there's 2 configurations for the back paddles. You have the 4 back paddles that you would normally get with that of a like an Elite Series controller, or you have these half disc paddles that you would get with something like the DualSense Edge if you like the half disc paddles. They just slot into the back and you can choose where you want them. Now, another thing that I find to be wildly convenient is this. So this comes with some button pulls, and what you do is you remove the ABXY and you can just as easily put in the other one. And now you can switch out the actual face buttons to match that of which input you are deciding to use. Now, quick thing, don't accidentally put this button in here, because then it'll be so recessed in there that you'll have a hard time getting it out, and you'll have some issues, because each one of these buttons are actually different sizes because of where this lays out. Now, again, this has a tremendous amount of customization if that's something you're into, with 4 different things here. And I think that as far as the most versatile and most insanely action-packed and feature-rich controller, this is 100% the way that I would, I would suggest. But for me, features don't mean everything, because a controller is meant to connect you to your video game. And while this is very, very feature-rich, extremely feature-rich, you can switch from normal vibration to haptic feedback. There's so many different features in this. Also has a 2.4 adapter, which is nice, which is clutch when you're using it with something like this. I don't use it. I don't use it because there are just too many things that I would have to navigate. And while they are very, very well done, extremely well done, this is by and large the best version of this style of controller, third party, better than the Fusion Pro. This is incredible. I still don't use it because of how complex it ends up becoming, and I just don't use all these features. Plus, if I'm being honest with you, I am a sucker for these kind of thumbsticks. Symmetrical. I love symmetrical. Now, when we talk about the docked experience, we're not just talking about playing games, but also getting into desktop mode. Desktop mode being a special thing that the Steam Deck can do, versus the Switch can't do that. The Lenovo Legion Go, as well as the Asus ROG Ally, pretty much exclusively run in desktop mode. But anyway, if we're gonna go into that, I want to talk to you about what I use for my peripherals, because that becomes important. As far as a mouse is concerned, I try to lean away from Bluetooth, because I don't want to have to deal with making sure it's connected. I need it to work immediately, so I just use this mouse. Now, you don't have to use this exact mouse. I believe this is the N30. I don't know exactly what the Nintendo N30 mouse by 8BitDo. What I like about this mouse is right here, you have your little adapter. and it is good to go. It's not ergonomic, but chances are you are not going to be in desktop mode for a tremendous amount of time. So this just goes right into the back of my dock like so. Good, connected. And then with a mouse, I have a keyboard. Now, what's special about this keyboard is this keyboard both has 2.4 and Bluetooth with a physical switch. This is the matching keyboard to the 8-bit DOE. What's incredible about it is it has also, right here, a little adapter. And this adapter, I'll seat right in here. And so for me now, this dock is set up, so if I'm using my computer, my Mac, Bluetooth, do my thing, have my mouse for my Mac. If I go over to my Steam Deck, over to 2.4, do my thing, have my Steam Deck one, and we're good to go. The downside for Mac users is it is the traditional Control Win Alt versus Commands something else in Alt option. So, and I know that's all mixed about too. And so that is one downside. You just have to kind of get used to it. But that being said, this is a very spectacular keyboard. I believe that the actual switches are great. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're phenomenal to use. They feel super nice. But for me, the keyboard and mouse combination adds to that feel. Whether you're managing EmuDeck or you're going through and you're trying to install different mods on games like Final Fantasy VII with the Final Fantasy VII Heaven mod, or same with Final Fantasy IX, any sort of thing you're doing in desktop mode. I mean, if you're using the Steam Deck as a desktop, good for you. I wouldn't. But it certainly is possible to do all those things. This is, I think, the base for using your Steam Deck in this hybrid fashion. There are a lot of other things that you have to manage while using your Steam Deck, such as how are you outputting the image? Are you outputting it to a 4K TV and you need to scale it properly, whether you're using 1440 instead of 4K, making sure to keep your refresh rate either 60, which is half. I mean, my TV does 120, so I try to keep it at 60. You know, that kind of thing is going to help you have a better experience. And we'll talk and walk through some of that kind of stuff settings-wise in a different video. But when it comes to specifically using this in the hybrid fashion, I feel like the best way to go about it is to have a way that is as seamless as possible. Because we know what the gold standard is. The gold standard is the Nintendo Switch. That hybrid is the best of the best. Now, are the visuals the best? No, but the usability is really unmatched, and it certainly is unmatched when it comes to the Steam Deck. This is not a perfect experience. Sometimes it doesn't show the image, it's not always flawless. In fact, when you're going from docked to undocked, sometimes you have to go in and manually switch your controller from a external controller to the actual pad itself, the gamepad itself. And so it doesn't always change inputs automatically. There's just a little bit extra work you have to do. But I will say this, when it comes to the experience as a whole, between all of the different ones that are there, if Nintendo Switch is the gold standard when it comes to this hybrid experience, the Steam Deck is by far the next in line, by a long shot. But it really does take making sure that your peripherals are set and ready to go to make sure that it's not a clunky experience, which it can easily become a clunky experience if you're trying to reconnect and get the Bluetooth going and this, that, and the other. You want to make sure stuff is set up. So if I was to pare it down, if I was to show you my exact setup right now, this is my Steam Deck docked experience in desktop mode, and my gameplay experience is simply with this controller. This is my docked loadouts completely. I was using the Ultimate controller, but I love the 8-bit DOE Pro 2 or 8-bit DOE Pro 2. This is my absolute favorite controller of all time, through and through, and it matches my Atomic Purple AeroPress. AeroPress is has become my absolute favorite way to brew coffee. And I want to say that I want to master this thing. I will master the AeroPress. It is the best brew method. I love it. I love it dearly. All right, guys, if you want to join me in the live streams where I'm playing Final Fantasy 1 right now, and next will be one of the other entries, we're going through I guess it'd be 14, so it's 1 through 16, excluding 11 and 14, because those are actually online-only games, so that's that. If you like that sort of thing, twitch.tv twitch.tv/JDXCoffee. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Say bye-bye, Sora. Bye-bye, bye-bye. All right. Happy gaming.